So today I'm going to talk about my experience with compulsive spending. If I go back to when I was a child, my relationship with money. So when I was younger, I come from a working class family, and don't get me wrong, by no means I saying I was a deprived child or I struggled. I didn't. I had a great life. My parents took us on day trips. We never had holes in our clothes. In fact, bless them, they had 2 to 3 jobs each. Money was a little bit tight. They somehow managed to find money for me to have a driving test and get put on my mum's license. I had tutors for my GCSEs, which wasn't cheap. My parents would go above and beyond to make sure that me and my sister did not suffer. However, so my experience, and again, I'm not saying I was deprived. In school, I vividly remember, so just for context, I'm 35, I was born in 89. When I was in secondary, my friends would have £10 per week pocket money. I would have £1. And I often remember my friends would have like a Barbie lunchbox, Care Bear lunchbox, and certain things. And at that time, I'm a millennial, so I always wanted like a lava lamp and a blow-up inflatable chair, and there's lots of things I wanted. I always wanted to do ballet, cheerleading, dancing. I would beg her to take me to dance class. I would go into Yellow Pages. Yes, I'm showing my age now. We had dial-up internet a bit later on. I would go through Yellow Pages and I'll find numbers and I would, look into it. I'd be like, please, mum. And I used to do gymnastics and I loved gymnastics. Now, I've never been very good at anything, if I'm honest. But I love moving and I love dancing and things like that. And my dad said to me, if you can't jump on the horse, we're going to have to put you out of gym. Now, I was heartbroken. However, I later on found out, yes, I was rubbish. Let's be honest. I wasn't going to be any Olympian. And I knew that. I wasn't looking to pursue a career in gymnastics. But I really enjoyed it. And it was good fun. And it's nice, for a child or an adult to do a hobby or an interest, right? So I later on found out it's because they couldn't afford to keep me in gym. But obviously the way my dad phrased it made me feel like I was really terrible and really incompetent, which I was, but to tell a young child they're rubbish at something, really not good for their self-esteem. So because of that and many reasons, I had really low self-esteem as a child, and I never felt like I was good enough at anything, and I really sort of withdrew, and I had really bad social anxiety. Now, fast forward to 17, my dad forced me to get a job. My parents were quite comfortable at this point. I didn't need to have a job necessarily, but of course, I'm old enough to make a living. I've got time. Why shouldn't I be working? So again, for context, I was in full-time education. I was in college in sixth form for combination for 3 years after school. Then I went to university. So I was in full-time education Monday to Friday, but I had my weekends, and it was, it was common. It was normal for people my age to have weekend jobs and evening jobs. So anyway, got myself a job, got my first pay packet, new look, get 50% off clothes, great, £400 a month. I blew every single penny on clothes, every single penny. Now, this kept going on and on and on. And I then realised I was eligible for credit cards, credit cards and loans. So I started taking out, at one point, I knew it was bad. And my dad always told me, never take out credit. If you can't afford to pay it off, it's just unnecessary. And he was really passionate, like a big advocate for like savings and not living beyond your means and all this kind of stuff, which I was completely agreed with. However, at one point I decided I'd done my degree and I wanted to be a sports nutritionist. Now, I felt that the sports nutrition module in my university course was quite limited and I wanted to expand my knowledge. So I found an online sports nutrition diploma so I could continue my knowledge. And it cost a certain amount of money, so I took out a credit card, put it on there, and I promised myself I'd pay it off and that would be that. However, holidays, makeup, I'm in my early 20s, I start using it, I start chucking everything on it, blah, blah, blah. I go past my 0% interest phase, my 0% balance transfer phase, so I start to accumulate interest. Now, go mid-20s, I meet my ex-partner, who wanted to move from Cardiff to Bristol. Now, in order to do this, we needed to get a place. So we got a place, I put it in my name, £750 a month, no bills, unfurnished, okay? I was on a really low wage. I was on maybe like 18k per year, so 1,100, 200 per month. I had debt. By the time we paid for our rent and our council tax, our water, electricity, internet, food, etc., fuel, cost of living, blah, 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 I was left with nothing, essentially. And I would really struggle, and he would pay for a lot of things, and he would always have a go at me that I never had any money, and he had to pay for everything. He was earning more than me, and it was his idea to move. But of course, I should be sensible with my money. I am an adult, after all. So that was really painful. And then prior to that, if I sort of backtrack a little bit, when living with my parents, I would constantly be ordering shopping. I was a nightmare for online shopping. I couldn't go into the city centre because I would binge shop, easily spend 150 quid in half an hour. I'd go in and I'd pick up every single item. I think, want that, chuck in my basket, go to the till, spend, done. And I'd feel guilty and ashamed and annoyed at myself that I just done that, you know. It was so good in the moment. And my dad would say to me, like, Rox, you've got all these clothes, all this makeup, you can't go anywhere because you haven't got any money. So that was that. And I found myself hiding parcels from my dad. He'd say, oh God, another parcel. I'd be hiding parcels. So that was a nightmare. And then living with my partner, he'd always have a go at me about money and the fact that I never had any. So I took on a second job. I became a shop girl, and I was earning a good, I don't know, top my income up, maybe, I don't know, I'd earn anything from 100 to £300-400 a night, which was pretty good. I'd do 2 nights a week. So I really nicely topped up my wage. It really did make a massive difference. But you know what? It was such a tough time. And the difficulty is, I'm not diagnosed, but I kind of hypothesize. I exhibit symptoms of ADHD. And I know that, you know, there's certain things that we struggle with. You know, impulse control being one of them. I kind of got to the point where I realised that whilst it was nice having these things and buying these things and enjoying these new items, I realised that my life wouldn't substantially change afterwards. Like yeah, I've got a nice top, but I think sometimes you think when you buy something, it's gonna like fix a problem in your life. You're like, oh, I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna be really popular. I'm gonna have this and, you know, I don't know, everyone's gonna find me more attractive, blah blah blah, you know, all these different things, ridiculous things. And whilst it feels good in the moment, you don't feel good afterwards because you're like, shit, I've got no money. And it's not a good feeling. So whenever I get a impulse now to buy something, I do a few things. So firstly, I unsubscribe from all newsletters from high street stores. Secondly, I don't go into city centres. I rarely do. And if I do, I try to avoid the shops. Thirdly, I will be very like critiquey when it comes to clothing. So I'll go, oh, that's nice, but I'll find a reason why it's maybe not very nice or why I shouldn't buy it. I'll be like, yeah, but it's like too expensive, or yeah, but it won't go with anything, or yeah, but like, and if I try it on, I'll be like, yeah, but it's a little bit too tight, it's a little bit too big, it's a little bit too this, a little bit too that. And I will be really like super critical of everything I buy. I will find reasons why I shouldn't buy it. And I'm like, unless I love that, I think it's the 3 rule. Unless you want it, need it, or got something to go with it, then you shouldn't buy it. Or something like, there's another one that if I can't buy this 3 times over, I shouldn't buy it at all. So yeah, I'm super critical. I'll often go online shopping now and I'll add things to my basket and then just like abort. Like I'll get to pay and I'll just leave. I think there's times where I'm feeling like maybe lonely or frustrated, just like a binge eater or a drug addict. I do identify certain things that I'm feeling, maybe late at night when I'm relaxing. And realistically, I don't know about you guys, but I've got so much in my wardrobe. Like I don't need anything. And you wear something once and you think, nah, I'm bored of it now. I'm over it, you know? And it's ridiculous. And I can't say that, as you can tell, I am a sucker for capitalism and consumerism. Everything and everyone around you, social media, is promoting like newness. Like you need the next newest thing, the next best thing. You need this, you need that. You don't need anything. Like none of that is actually important. But we find ourselves being sucked in. And I always make a joke that the only thing that influences influence is your bank balance, right? Because like, what, like 99.9% of their content is them selling something. It's very rare that they're just telling you like how to improve your lifestyle that's not going to cost you a penny. Like, it's like, go and buy this and go and sign up for this app and download this thing that's going to cost you X amount of money, buy this book, it's going to cost you this. It's always buy this, buy this, buy that. And I get it, they've got a job to do, and I'm not knocking them, and they do a great job at it. I mean, again, like, I'm a sucker. I'm on TikTok and I see something and I'm like, ding, straight in my basket. And like, what did I buy? I did buy this jumpsuit that I'm wearing, and it's beautiful, I have to say. It's from the TikTok shop. But I did buy the curl thingy that rolls up, where you press a button, and it looks great, but I've got to say my curls do not last more than an hour. So that was a pile of crap that I spent my money on. That cost me like 25 quid. And this is what I mean. A lot of the time, these purchases can be super disappointing. So anyway, these are the tips that I have. So the other thing I've done that's really helpful, the envelope trick. Now, what you do when you get paid, firstly, make sure all of your bills come out the day you get paid or the day after you get paid. That's super important. Clear all that money out that needs to go, so you're left with what's rest. Now, you've got, well, actually two options. You can make, on the Barclays app, and I think you can do with other bank providers, you can make sub accounts and you can name them. So you can set up standing orders to move your money around to these accounts to clear out your main account. So you can divide your money up accordingly. I've had an app called Snoop. Was it Snoop? It was like one of those money apps. Nah, it didn't really help me that much. One thing I found really helpful is living out of cash. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this when you go on holiday. You take cash and you budget out your money and you only spend what you've got. That, for me, is perfect. When I was in uni, I would literally take a hip flask to the club with vodka, and I'd order like Coke or something. And me and my friends went to the toilet and we would just literally drink out my hip flask. It was great. It was super cheap, and they rarely check bags. And the other thing I would do, I'd take 40 quid in cash. That would be it, okay? And that would get me by all night. I would drink until I was like tired and wanted to go home, and they get a taxi home, and it would last me. It would be brilliant. And then the envelope trick. So you withdraw all the money after your bills and you make a list of everything you've got going on. So it could be like, I don't know, Amy's birthday and Dan's birthday and Susie's cinema trip, whatever it is. And you put a name on the envelope, fuel, food, etc. And you put in money into each envelope. You distribute your money, and it helps you really categorize things. That's really good. Another thing is removing your Samsung or Apple Pay off your phone, or like disconnecting your card from it. Delete your bank details off your phone, so you can't just, you've got to like, I don't know about you, but the biggest pain in the arse is when you've got to go to find your card and type in your card details from scratch. There's so many times I've aborted buying something because I'm like, I'm upstairs, my card's downstairs, I'm going to go and get it, type it in, it's long, can't be bothered with that. Create resistance, create barriers. So removing your card details off your phone makes it a lot easier. Unfollow any influencers that influence you to spend money. That's another one. Like I said, unsubscribe from all fast fashion newsletters, anything that's selling you anything. Avoid going to places you know your triggers. So like, I'm terrible. I could go into like, I used to go in Wilko and spend a fortune. So I try and do a big shop once a week. Sometimes like Aldi or Lidl. I'm not really inspired to spend loads of money there. So those places are great because I'll get the bare basics and that'll, and I'll make sure that I have enough of everything to last me the week. Every single toiletry, every single item. So make sure you're really organised. You want to avoid taking little trips to the shop, because I don't know about you again, you'll often find that you'll go and take little trips to a shop and you'll then spend money. So you'll go in, you say, oh, I'll just buy like, I just need some milk. Oh, whilst I'm here, I'll get a chocolate bar and I'll get a pack of crisps. And oh, there's a candle on sale. And oh, I could do with a saucepan. And what was supposed to be a trip for just milk, spending £1.50, whatever milk is, £2, becomes £10-15 just for one thing. So I would honestly say that. And the other thing as well is that I do, so I was spending money on coffees most days. I bought myself a really cheap Dolce Gusto. It was 30 quid, and a pack of pods is like 3.50 from Aldi or Lidl, and I think I get like 12 coffees out of that. Now if you do the math, I think I worked it out at something ridiculous, like 20p a coffee. It's like really low, Now it's like £4.50 for a coffee from Nero or Costa or wherever. So you are saving yourself a fortune. But you know, it still feels a bit fancy because you've got it from a machine and it's not instant, So it is a compromise, right? So those are just a few things that I do to like save some money. Also, I've also bought like secondhand foundation and secondhand perfume from Depop. Like half used. I don't know if you've ever done this. Like I bought a bottle of Fenty and it was crap. Like I didn't like it. I didn't realise it oxidizes on skin, so my skin would get gradually more cakey and orange as the day progressed. Awful. Or someone's bought you like a Dolce & Gabbana perfume, you've had 2 squirts and you're like, nah, not feeling it. It's not for me. Like, do you know what I mean? Again, I'll sell it on because, you know, it's just collecting dust, make some money. I'll always try and sell my old items. I'm not very good at it, don't get me wrong, so don't take any advice from me. Vintage Depop, I'll have things listed for ages. People want things for nothing. I'm crap at listing and selling. So if anybody has any tips, I'm muchly appreciated. So yeah, those are my tips. Now, I am a lot better with my money now. I actually have savings. I sometimes do dip into my savings. So I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but it's definitely a work in progress. And if you knew me before and you know me now, I don't have an overdraft. The only kind of debt I have, I put like £100 on a credit card. I have 3 credit cards. I never use them. I have savings. What else? Yeah, so like, I'm in a much better, I don't hide parcels. I'm not ashamed of my behaviour. I don't do binge spends anymore. Like I've just ordered 3 items from PLT, didn't really need them, I'm not gonna lie, so it was a bit of a treat purchase, but I bought 2 jackets on purpose because I didn't know which one I'd like. I'll send it back and get the money for it. And I try and sell old clothing as well. So yeah, like those are some of my tips. I hope you found this helpful, and if anyone can relate and did find this helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, follow me.